guys, so on our farm, every chicken house has a sick bay. For example, if you take a look at this chicken house right there, moving the other side, it has a small section right here that moves to this side, and this is the sick bay. Let's go and check it out and you just see what is inside there. So we have two doors here, two entrances, and each one of them actually has a food dip because biosecurity also applies for people who are sick. So as you can see inside here we have cock. So these are sexing errors that came in the batch of birds which is in the other chicken house right here. So these are the sexing errors right here. There are about 20 cocks, and so they are placed with their food. I think their water is done. As you can see, the drinker has fallen down. So I'm going to let the guys know so that they come and give them the water in the drinker. So we place them inside here and they become the ultimate sacrifice every time I want to eat a chicken or every time I decide to be generous. So very occasionally I become really generous. I give some of the neighbors chicken, the security guys around, maybe the LCs, you know, the local leaders, and the guys who work in the chicken houses themselves, you know, the managers and the chicken workers. I'll occasionally give them 1 or 2 chickens to feed on or to roast. When I was sick, you know, this is what I slaughtered. Once in a while, I'll slaughter one of them. So we place them right here for that purpose. And you can see this is the feeder for their feeds. And their feed is not special. They can really feed on anything that's available. If some of the feed pours down or anything, we give it to them so that they feed on it. The other side is actually the real sick bay. So this is the other side, which is the sick bay. This side, we keep chickens that are sick, as you can see them. So once in a while, just like it happens with human beings, chickens do get sick. Some of them will become weak, some of them will get pecked on, some of them will, you know, maybe get paralyzed, you know, outcompeted generally, like it is in every population. And when that happens, you don't want to keep the chickens with the rest of the flock on the inside of the house, because that becomes very problematic. Those chickens are now weak. They can't compete like the rest. And so if you leave them in the same area to compete, they're literally going to die. So you want to isolate them, place them in an area where they can literally compete just amongst themselves, take away the competition as much as possible. So that's the area for us. But also, in case you find a bird that might have a disease that might be a communicable disease that might spread to the rest of the birds, you don't want to leave them inside the group with the rest of the chickens. You want to isolate them so that you monitor its progress and notice what the problem could be. So because of that, you need a sick bay. So we built a sick bay on this chicken house, you know, a while back, but unfortunately, it wasn't the best position to place the chicken house. So as you can see, we placed it just at the very top of this chicken house. And I thought this would have been the standard that we're going to use for this chicken house too. This chicken house doesn't have a sick bay yet, and that's what we're going to be building today. But this one, we placed it in completely the wrong location, you know. It was completely the wrong location. Why? Because as you can see at the top, right there was no way of stopping water that spills onto the side of the house from getting inside. So we thought that by maybe placing some form of cement or something at the top, the water wouldn't slip down. But unfortunately, it still slips down. So what that means is that when we have very heavy rain, we still have water getting inside the sick pens right here. So we've decided to change the entire idea. So what we've decided for this chicken house right here, as you can see, that's the chicken house that has the sick bay. You can see it right there just behind the tanks. And this is the chicken house without a sick bay. So the plan now has been to place the sick bay for this chicken house completely independent of the house. Yeah, so we had many alternatives of what we can do. Of course, the two most viable alternatives were, number one, to place it behind, you know, behind this chicken house right there. But I didn't think that was good. Yeah, because number one, I would have to kill my bananas, all the bananas along this line, which I honestly don't want to do. But also number two, it just doesn't seem like an ideal position for me, since it's going to be really tiny. So what I decided to do was to place it right here, you know, just next to this chicken house. Now, of course, this also comes with compromises, because that means you're going to block a bit of aeration at the bottom of the chicken house. But it's going to be small, honestly. It's only going to be 2 by 4 meters, and this chicken house is 20 meters in length. So of course we're going to have a little bit of aeration cut off, but not too much. So as you can see, the guys have been, you know, digging out the place. We're trying to level it a little bit before we start the construction. And we're going to build it really in a very simple way. And I'm going to be sharing with you guys the process as we do it. Right here you can see the main chicken house. That's the first chicken house with its sick bay right there. This is the second chicken house, and there is the sick bay. Yeah, and as you can see, there is a banana plantation right next to this chicken house. I don't want to get rid of my plantations because they give me matoke. They have bananas. As you can see, this one right there, it has bananas right there. So I don't want to get rid of them. I probably will have to do so in the future, but let's go check this one out. Yeah, so it has 2 doors for 2 different units. One of the unit will be for the birds that get properly sick, you know, ill. Then the second unit will be for birds that get broody, in case we get any broody birds. So that's why you see we have 2 units. So right here we are still constructing, but this is going to be a food dip, as you can see. Yeah, so all our chicken houses, just like this one right there, have food dips. You can see a food dip where people have to step in before they move in. I think you can even see another food dip at the bottom of that one. So here is another food dip to ensure that every time someone has to move in, they use the food dip. The door doesn't look like it was put in appropriately. It looks to be diagonal, you know, not properly at a right angle. Oh well, it's okay. It's only a chicken house. And then when we move in, this is what it looks like inside. So there's a proper wall. Well, that would be a wall, but a division, a partition to separate the 2 sides. Then this side is properly aerated. Yeah, the birds won't be ill. Then we have a concrete floor, as you might see. Yeah, so it's quite important that the floor is concrete so that the chickens don't get sick. Then, you know, you can see our timber right here. Yeah, so this has been the door that has been placed in right here, and it's the same thing with the other side of the chicken house. So tomorrow I've contacted another builder to come and finish the building, because I won't wait for the other guy. Certainly won't wait for the other guy. So someone else is going to come and finish the place down, that we have water. Then, you know, we are going to prepare and put in the litter, finish the thing up so that we can start isolating our birds just in case of anything. A broody pen is very important because once in a while you'll have some chickens going broody, and when chickens start to go broody, you want to make sure that you isolate them. Yeah, you want to isolate them. The best thing to do is get them, dip them in water, and then isolate them in a different unit. Yeah, isolate them in a completely well-lit unit where they won't get into broody tendencies. Some people say you should isolate them in dark units, but that doesn't help at all. Yeah, just isolate it in a well-lit unit. Make sure that you're giving it food and water, and that it's comfortable. So I'll get back to you guys once we go on with the next phase before we finish the sick bay. Whew, guys, so it's a few days later on a rainy day here in March, and our sick bay is done. It's located right there in a dark area. Yeah, let's go check it out, guys. Right there, you can see it. Okay, let's move in. As you can see, it's located in between a plantation, which ideally is not ideal, but I don't want to sacrifice my plants, honestly. I don't. So you can see this is the food dip which was completed. Yeah, you can see. So if we needed to move in, for example, let's move in here. We'll step inside here. I think we have a problem. You see where the roof pours? It pours just next to this, and then the water pours into the food dip. So when it rains, the medicine gets diluted. So as you can see, the doors were fixed in properly, and right here the entrance was fixed properly. Here are our chickens. These are broody chickens. Yeah. Oh, some of them have laid eggs, so I think they need to be moved away from here. I can see that 2 of them have laid eggs in the broody chicken peg, and we had it, oh my god, 3 eggs. Whoa. So these are the broody chickens. The broody chickens, as I already explained to you, are the ones that don't want to lay. So as you can see, we give them food, we give them water. We usually dip them in water before we place them inside here. And 3 out of the 6 inside here have laid eggs. So I think they need to identify those 3, the first 3 that came inside here, and take them back inside the chicken house. So you can see the chicken house right there. Yeah, you can see at the top floor, and this is the bottom floor. And there is no litter. I don't know why the guys didn't place litter. Usually when you have broody birds, you want to place a hard surface. But I think it's a bit also unfair to not put litter. So I hadn't checked it out since it got done. So I'm going to tell the guys to bring in litter. And we do have the litter. It's not like we don't have it. I'll lock this right here. Okay. And here you can see that we do have litter. This section does have litter. I don't know why they placed them the other side in the section without the litter. So I think they're going to have to bring them this side, because as you can see here, we have litter, we have feed. I believe this is the unit for the birds that are ill, the ones that are sick. And then the other unit, the other side, is the unit for the birds that are okay, but are broody. So that's why the other side has no litter. By that, it makes sense to not place litter down. Yeah, I know you're trying to get them from being broody, but I think they'll need to place litter in that section. Now, when we leave our sick pen right there, they have placed a garden right here. I think this is kale. So we're going to have more crops growing right here. But guys, we're expanding the farm very soon. So this is house number 1, house number 2, and this is going to be house number 3, as you guys might see. So we are already flattening the area. So as you can see, we are working on the area where the 3rd chicken house is going to go. Yeah. So we have a tree right there. It's in the wrong place. So as you can already see, we're trying to cut it. I personally don't like getting rid of trees. So that's why you notice that even our sick pen is in between plants, because I love trees. And that's why you can see that we kept a tree here, even if it's quite close to the chicken house, but there's quite some spacing still in between the chicken house and the tree. But this is right where the chicken house is going to go. And another tree right there in the background, let's move there, guys. Yeah, another tree, this one over here, is also too close to the chicken house. Yeah, as you can see, this is the line of the chicken house, and if you see the leaves, they're literally just next to it. So we either cut off the branches, but still it would be too close for my comfort. Birds can easily come and roost there, and it's too close to the chicken house. So we're going to also have to get rid of this tree. After all, we've planted quite a number of trees around. So the guys are making the place flat. It's going to give us quite some time to prepare that. Then right here, we have some maize. As you can see, it has been raining. So we have maize that we covered. And we have been protecting it from the rain. And finally, the last thing that I want to show you guys is a shed. So this is also a new construction on the farm. You can see where the guys sleep, and it's right there that they usually work and clean the eggs from. But we've decided to make this small construction. I'll just step back a little bit so that you can see it better. As you can see, it's a small construction. It still has some wood at the top. We're going to get rid of it. Then we'll paint the poles black. But as you can see, this is our construction for the guys to see it, rest from here, work from here, whether it's working on the eggs, cleaning the egg, and that will ensure that there is a shaded area to work from. It's some beautiful developments that we are having on the farm. So 3rd house coming up there, the 4th one will be coming up there, but that will take quite a while. I believe that will be next year, 2025. And finally, you can see our feed store right here. I think it's not big enough, guys. Yeah, I think it's not big enough. Let's move in and I'll show you guys. You can see that some maize powers right here while we are working. Let's move in. We'll open this up, and you can see inside the feed store. So we have our feed inside here. We've stored a good amount of maize, honestly, quite a good amount. I think we have over 35 tons of maize. This is the one that has been milled. We probably have just over a ton left, maybe 2 tons, yeah, left, maybe 3 tons around here. That's about 15 tons, the one with the white bags. And then this is about 20 tons right here of maize and maize bran. But if you're going to have 10,000 chickens on the farm, then certainly that won't serve. Currently, we have 7,500 chickens. 2,500 of those are in rearing, so they are currently about 7 weeks old. They're just growing up, so they're not consuming at their maximum. If we're going to have 10,000 chickens, then that won't be enough, because that means we'll have 10,000 grown-up chickens and 2,500 in rearing. That's about 12,500 chickens. And you can see that the space is already filled, and we even need to put in a machine right inside here, you know, a feed mixing machine. So this won't be enough. It won't suffice. I think we're going to have to expand the feed mill very soon to take up a little bit more space. So right here where you see we have these gardens, you know, we've grown some crops there, is where I believe we're going to expand. We're just going to connect it right next to this one, same exact size in this direction, so that we can keep this side as the storage, and then we put the equipment and everything on this side and work from this side. That will give us enough storage to be able to run the farm when it's at full capacity. We have quite some space to utilize for, you know, growing crops, yeah? The crops that we have right there. Let me get closer so that you can check them out, yeah? These are some of the crops we have, as you can see. You know, eggplants, you can see eggplants. So we have space, a lot of space at the top of the farm where we can plant that. And that's going to make it quite easy for us to, you know, expand and utilize the space for growing crops. Ensure that the farm is self-sustainable as much as possible. We grow our own beans, you know, just grow as much as we can so that we are self-sustainable, but we can still utilize the farm for the chicken farming. Tell me what you guys think about it. I think I love the development of the farm. It's quite interesting. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash the notification bell. That way you never miss out on an upload. Catch you very soon with another video. Lots of love. Bye-bye.